Hello, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United are 24 hours away from the end of this transfer window. Part of me thinks thank God, but that's a personal thing. In relation to Manchester United, 24 hours to react, and the reality is Manchester United are expected to make a huge gamble on the transfer deadline day tomorrow, and that gamble is expected to be 0 points. No activity. Let's go with what we've got and sit back and watch everybody else potentially strengthen. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that? I mean, happy, unhappy? There's a quote I want to read you, which I think is really very an interesting quote to sort of get your head around. A difficult and unprecedentedly expensive transfer market has hindered Manchester United's ability to complete deals. Manchester United are the richest club in the world, and there are statements like that. A difficult and unprecedentedly expensive transfer market has hindered Manchester United completing the deals that they wanted to do. The richest club in the world cannot adapt to an expensive transfer market. Why is that? I'm not going over it again. We know why. It's those greedy owners who only release so much money. So Manchester United effectively looks like we will go into the window with what we've got. Lindelof, who's not good enough to be on the bench. Lukaku's basically a replacement for Zlatan and Rooney. And Matic, who, let's be honest, has been sensational. You can't fault that signing. But Mourinho wanted a winger. Didn't get one. There's also talk that he wanted a fullback. Certainly nowhere near getting that. So Aurier, I think, I don't know, has Aurier signed for Spurs? Oxlade-Chamberlain has signed for Liverpool today. They already had the best wingers in the league currently on form in Salah and Mane. And now they've signed Oxlade-Chamberlain, who, to be honest, is a serial bottler, and he's going to a team of bottlers. So I'm not saying Liverpool are going to win the league. I just think it's unfortunate that we've not been I don't believe Mourinho's been backed. I know some people struggle with that concept, and I've had some idiots getting on at me at Twitter today. Some idiots who write for papers, who apparently are credible journalists, telling me that it's not a fact that Mourinho's not been backed in this window. I think they need to open their ears up. I mean, Mourinho's been open about wanting 4 signings. He got 3. That's not being backed. It's being partially backed, but it's not being backed. When you want 4 and you get 3, that's not being backed. That's being, no, we can't get the other one. Kamyar Tagabai says, we need a winger, and I'm really frustrated. Thanks for the contribution. You can contribute through the Super Chat option at the bottom. Katie Graham says the Glazers need to leave. Look, I'm not massively about the Glazers leaving, if I'm totally honest. I'm not about that, but I just wish they would back our manager. And I don't feel that he has been backed, but some people want to say that he has. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. There we go. Thoughts on Renato Sanchez to Swansea, says HKY Clan. Mourinho was waxing lyrical about Renato Sanchez a year ago. I can only think that Bayern Munich don't want to let us have him, because why not? Why not? Why would we not do that? Jacobs Swee Olafson says, great channel, Mark. Is there any news on Mahrez? The only thing I can find out about Mahrez is that Manchester United aren't in for him. There was something floating around which I spoke about last night, that Mourinho would like him, but the club won't back him for a 50 million fee. They don't think he's worth it. There was talk that we're in for Lamar, but Liverpool pushed the price up because they wanted to get him as a replacement for Coutinho, so his price went up to 70 million, which United were never willing to pay more than 50 for him. Perisic is dead in the water now. Inter were willing to take 50, United wouldn't pay it. Then United were willing to pay 50 late on, but they'd already offered him a massive new contract, so that's not going to happen. So Mahrez, Perisic, Lamar, Draxler, there's nothing being said about Draxler, and Bale still lingers on, like I was talking about at lunchtime, but it's too little. I mean, to be honest with you, I can't be hypocritical. I did say back in July and June that, clever clubs get their business done before you go on summer tour. Mourinho wanted that to happen, and he didn't quite get it. He didn't get it with Matic. Didn't come in till we were on tour, did he? Lukaku and Lindelof, he wanted all 4 signings by the start of July. It wasn't delivered. I think when you're doing business on the final day of the window, there is a massive degree of desperation. But the difference with this transfer window compared to others and desperation signings is that there actually is some quality there. There's some quality available tomorrow. Alexis Sanchez probably go to City, they're strengthened. Chamberlain's already gone from Arsenal to Liverpool. Arsenal are going to be trying to do deals tomorrow, desperate, but that's them. Chelsea have been snubbed by Lukaku, Oxlade-Chamberlain. There was somebody else, so they're desperate to do some business tomorrow. Ross Barkley's available. Apparently he's going to Chelsea. We mentioned Lamar potentially, Draxler potentially. I imagine teams like Chelsea, Arsenal and Man City around the Sanchez deal are desperately working on those. I don't get that impression from Manchester United. It doesn't mean it can't happen. I hope to God it does. And I think, you know, as I said at the start of the week, if you could have a chat with Jose Mourinho, he would say, you know, private chat, he would say, of course I want another 2 players, but I've not got them. And I don't get where people turn it into... I've seen, to be honest with you, I'm just going to say this because it's well into the video now and it's a safe time to say it, and I don't like to say it at the start of the video. But I just want to say thank you to everybody who gets involved in the United stand, because it's difficult at times. The personal abuse doesn't really bother me, but it's been particularly bad today just based on the fact that we've done videos commenting on the transfer market. And look, it's opinion. It's opinion. You're not going to stop me doing videos on the United stand. So sit down and go and watch something else. It's a free country. There's lots of other content within the Manchester United fan channel stuff. Go and watch that. Leave our community alone to do what we enjoy. But I'm not... I can only lead you up the go. I can only take the horse to water. If you don't want to drink what's in front of you and you'd rather run off in a petulant mood and die of dehydration, that's up to you. But I cannot spell it out any more than this, that Jose Mourinho wanted 4 signings, and as it's not rumour. I'm not sat here on the day before the transfer deadline going, Jose Mourinho, I reckon Jose Mourinho wanted 4 signings because it was in the Telegraph and it was in the Times. He said it with his own words numerous times. From May right through to August, he has said, I want 4 signings. What he has done is defend the club and his employers by saying, I understand it's a difficult market. But he's not going to tell the truth about that. And he wanted 4, he's got 3. Who's to blame for that? You cannot blame an overinflated transfer market on the fact that we haven't bought players when our club overinflates prices. I didn't want to come back onto this. I did it 2 months ago. But our club cannot sit there, and I find it absolutely amazing that football still does this and still mugs fans off. I mean, the best one, and we're not an Arsenal fan channel obviously, but the best one is Arsenal roll it out every May. We've got a £200 million war chest, this, that and the other. And what happens? Their best players leave and they'll buy mediocre players, and they won't touch even, they probably won't even spend 100 million. But their fans go back in droves and get mugged off and mugged off. I cannot believe that Manchester United owners have the gall to try and convince United fans that we should be proud of them because they don't want to play overpaid prices, yet they charge us 90 quid for a home shirt, yet they increase, like, you know, the merchandise, everything's going up for fans, but they expect the fans who have to find the extra money every season to sit there and go, I'm glad my club, the richest club in the world with record profits every year, are taking a moral stand in the transfer market. Well, is that moral stand replicated with reduction in shirt prices, reduction in season tickets? No, it's not. That moral stand just gives a bigger profit line to our owners. So I tell you what, up yours with your moral stand and your very difficult, unprecedented transfer market. Spend the money that the club fans put into the club, buy the players that we need. Because we are making a massive, massive transfer gamble tomorrow by not bringing in players to solve obvious issues within our squad. I believe that Jose Mourinho can still win the title, but as I said last night, his arm is well and truly behind his back, and it didn't need to be. He highlighted the 4 players that he wanted, he only got 3, and Zlatan coming back is a bit desperate. I love Zlatan, I'm happy he's coming back, and I think I hope he'll be a decent option for us in the latter part of the season. But if someone wants to include that as a 4th signing, don't even start. I'm going to take some of your comments because I need to just roll down a level or 2. But what I wanted to do first of all, because somebody just said, is there any Manchester United news at the moment? So I have to just... not interested in what Owen Hargreaves has got to say, to be totally honest. Can't believe people are chasing Johnny Evans like Arsenal. Arsenal signing Johnny Evans is funny. No, doesn't appear to be any Manchester United news at all. We're on transfer deadline day tomorrow, and I suspect, like the last few, we are just going to be sat there watching what everyone else does on transfer deadline day. I'd imagine Coutinho to Barcelona probably will happen if you're interested in that sort of that thing. Draxler looks like he's staying at PSG, as does Ramirez at Leicester. So yeah, nothing much happening there, folks, I'm afraid. Be nice if it was, but doesn't appear to be. Okay, let's come back to yourselves. Would you swap Martial for Alexi? No, I wouldn't. Zlatan is too dominant. Okay, we've got a contribution here. Jonathan Ledram, thank you for your contribution. He says, Mark, do you think funds are being held back for Griezmann/Bale transfer in the near future? The club's backed him with nearly £300 million to date. There's two aspects to that question, Jonathan, and they're both very good. And you know, by all means, everybody else, please do chuck your answers in there to that as well. I personally, and this is only my opinion, I'm not saying I represent anybody else other than my own opinion. I personally think that Manchester United waiting for Griezmann is wrong when he led us up the garden path, and you know, ultimately our transfer window is in the mess it's in because of Griezmann. Because if we had Griezmann now, we wouldn't be having this conversation. He led us up the garden path. His agent admitted last night that Griezmann would be a Manchester United player if it wasn't for the transfer ban at Atletico Madrid, which we all knew. Waiting on Bale, we shouldn't be doing that. Manchester United should not be waiting, full stop, on anybody. That, you know, the time is now. You know, North Korea are doing bombs over Japan. There might not be a next season, but you know what I mean. On all serious note, that could happen. But on serious note, we should be, you know, the future takes care of itself. The past is gone. You'll always live in the present, and we should be. We're top of the league. We're top of the league. We're not level top of the league. We're top of the league. We should be looking at winning the league this season, not what we're going to do next season. As for £300 million being given to Jose Mourinho, as I've said before, Jose Mourinho should have been given £500 million. Look, he inherited a mess from Van Gaal. How much money was he given to create a mess? On top of that, he wanted 4 players this summer. He got 3. Personally, I could look at Manchester United's squad from last season that finished 6th, and I'm sure you could as well. I'd probably pick 6 or 7 positions that needed improving or filling. So I thought Mourinho was actually quite frugal and quite, you know, efficient, saying I'll only have 4, because actually I think we need 6 or 7. So he only gets 3. I don't think 4's enough. I don't think 4's enough. I think a backup striker would have been nice. I think another midfielder would have been nice. I think a fullback would have been nice. That's without the winger that he hasn't got. So you know, 300 million, it's just a number. Look at how much Pep Guardiola's been given. I think it's embarrassing that our owners won't rectify the mistakes they made under Van Gaal and are making our manager, who's done brilliant things, trying to win the league on a shoestring. I don't think it's good enough. But as I said before, I don't blame any of the players. I don't blame Mourinho. I don't even blame Ed Woodward, who gets a lot of stick. I blame the owners. And you know, I don't think anyone's knew that. Vince Chapman says, what's happened to the Griezmann cash? Well, maybe it is being held back. Ashwari Nipan, Mark, it's first time Josie is okay with the players. Glazers said to him, look, you can stay more years, but build team step by step like Sir Alex Ferguson with minimum spending. I don't agree with that, Ashwari, though. Why should the Glazers dictate to our manager or our club, you've got to do it with minimum spending? Where's all the profit going then? Into their pockets. Get stuffed. Get stuffed. You know, this is where the fans need to be more vocal. It's not Mourinho's job to come out and say, I can't do my job because these greedy owners won't give me the money. He can't do that. He's employed by them. It's down to the fans to look at how much money goes into the club and how much actually goes into the club. You know, it goes into the club from the fans, and how much of that is recycled into the club. Not a lot. A lot of it goes to profits and shareholders. Okay, I've covered all those. That's good. You know what? You know, I empathise with people who are saying, shut up, Mark, sit down, you don't know what you're on about, we're top of the league, we can do it without this, that and the other. I I don't actually disagree with you. I still think we'll win the title. But whenever these sort of things rise up, it just frustrates me that we've got more money than anybody and we don't spend it. And as I said, that's not Mourinho. That's not the players. It's not Glazers. It's not Woodward. It is the Glazers. They won't release the money. They won't let us be everything we can be. We're top of the league by 2 points on every rival at least. We could never see them again. We could never see them again if we went and spent 70 million on Alexis Sanchez tomorrow. We'll never see them again. They'll never get near us. We'll just go and win the Premier League, which we've not won for 4 years. It's a massive gamble. That's why I've said Mourinho's Manchester United transfer deadline day gamble, because it is a gamble. It's a massive gamble to say that we can win this title with wingers. I mean, somebody said to me today, oh, apparently, I might be misquoting him, but Gary Neville has apparently said that Manchester United, that Mourinho would have wanted a winger, but with the form of Mata, Mkhitaryan and Martial, he probably feels he can get away without one. None of them are wingers, Gary. None of them are wingers. Not in the way we miss, not what we miss. We need somebody who can cross the ball. I've said this before. We watched the Leicester game. We watched all of last season. So many opportunities from the wing to put a cross in, which Gary Neville could do fantastically well. We've got nobody to do that. Juan Mata will come inside and do it with his left foot, which is a rubbish cross most of the time. Martial will do it from the other side with his right foot. And Mkhitaryan just isn't a winger. He's a number 10. We don't have a player to put a cross into the box. That is the problem. Jared Pesserman says, it's tough to have ambition like the United fans do and be met with a business approach to football like the Glazers have. It's a toxic relationship. It is. And in fairness to the Glazers and in fairness to Manchester United fans, if I could pull myself back and be impartial to it, it's a mismatch. You've got the most passionate fans in world football. You've got those fans who will throw money and money and money into their club because they love it. And they want that money to be reinvested in their club so they can dominate world football like they should. You've then got owners who don't have any interest in football, who saw a massively brilliant business opportunity that they never should have been given, which was buying a club that would always make massive profit. And they bought us on a debt, and they've never cleared that debt, and they've bled us dry ever since as a business model. As businessmen, what they've done with Manchester United, I applaud them, I pat them on the back, because they're you know, they were already billionaires anyway, but they've made so much money out of it. They should never have been allowed to buy us. They're not football people, and they bought us on a debt. From their point of view, they're not doing anything wrong. They've got no idea about football. They've got no idea about what Manchester United mean to Manchester United fans. It is a toxic relationship. Jared's right. I've got no empathy with them because I actually do love Manchester United. But if I was an outsider and a business person, I'd look at it and go, well, they're just brilliant businessmen, which they are. Doesn't help us, though. Shaz Watt's worried about Sanchez going to City. We'll be out of the Premier League title race if we don't sign a winger. We can still win the title if Sanchez goes to City. We can still win the title if Lamar and Oxlade-Chamberlain go to Liverpool. We can still win the title if Chelsea go and sign Draxler. We can still win the title if Liverpool get Van Dijk and improve their rubbish defence. Of course, we can still win the title. And I won't stop believing we can win the title. I predicted it. I still think we can. It's going to be a lot harder than it should be. But I still believe we'll win it. And I won't be hypocritical. I will say at the end of the season that, you know, that was, if we win it, I'll say that's harder than it should have been. I don't think we can even get close to winning the Champions League with this set of squad. We can win the Premier League with this squad because Leicester have shown that you can win the Premier League with a great team ethic, and we've got that. You can't win the Champions League with a great team ethic. You actually need quality. And I think the Champions League is gone, and I think the club probably accepts that, and I think Mourinho will accept that. I think we'll get to the quarterfinals and then we'll get knocked out by quality because we don't have enough quality. If we signed Alexis Sanchez tomorrow in some sort of dream scenario, or we signed Bale tomorrow in a dream scenario, then I'd suddenly think, you know what, not only can we win the league, we could win the Champions League. I think by not getting Mourinho 4 signings, you know, I nearly swore then, we can't give him the 4, you know, we needed 6, we can't give him 4. Disgrace. But if we can't get that 4th signing in tomorrow, then Champions League is pretty much dead, and we've just got to focus on the Premier League, which, to be honest, that's what this season was always about, wasn't it? We're not linked with Felipe Anderson, Tarek. I wish we were. Where are the bin dippers getting their money from, Mark? Says Carl Watkins. I presume it's Coutinho will go tomorrow. I mean, to be fair, how can Coutinho still play for Liverpool? He can't. He can't. And what Liverpool are doing, in fairness, is very clever. And I hate to say that, but it is. They are spending the Coutinho money before they sell him. And I think that's an agreement with Barcelona that they've said, you can have him, but we need to spend the money first, because if we get the money in, we're going to get inflated prices as well. So Coutinho cannot stay at Liverpool. He cannot stay. He's been not playing the start of the season with a bad back, but then he's on Brazil duty. He's handed in a transfer request. The one thing I would say about Liverpool fans, as much as I don't like Liverpool, they are similar in their passion for their club that Manchester United fans are. And would we welcome back a player who's basically left us in the lurch at the start of the season, put a transfer request in? You know, as much as they are a bunch of bottlers, Liverpool, they do have some history, they do have some passion, and their fans will not accept that. Just like we, you know, I think Chelsea would. If he ended up staying, they'd be like, yeah. United fans wouldn't. We wouldn't welcome him back. And I'm sure somebody will say, what about De Gea? He never publicly put a transfer request in. And yeah, Coutinho's gone. That's where Liverpool are getting the money on, in a short answer. Just have patience, says Dontre Lockhart. Well, expectations are very high with Manchester United. We need a Team B for Champions League because of no buys, says Ferris Oddy. Thanks for the contribution, pal. The dangerous thing with United is we don't really know if we're title contenders. We've just won the first 3 games of the season. We did that last year. We finished 6th. I think the dangerous thing with this is, and I don't really remember it before, although I'm sure it has happened before, is that we've had a manager who vocally has said, I want 4 signings all summer, and he only gets 3. And what that does, and I said it 2 months ago as well when Mourinho first said it on the US tour, that totally and utterly alleviates him of any blame if we miss out on the title. Because he's planted that seed in the United fans' heads that he wanted 4 and he didn't get them. And that's not down to him. That's down to the owners or people above him. He wasn't given the tools he needed. It's a bit like a mechanic, isn't it? It's like, you know, fix that car, but do it without a spanner. You know, you might be able to do it and turn the nut and everything like that. But actually, if you were given the tools you wanted, you'd be able to do it easily. So Mourinho's not been given the tools he wanted, and he's publicly made that clear. Let's delve into a scenario. International breaks over. We go to Stoke. We draw. We get Everton at home the week after. We draw. I can't remember the next game after that. We draw. So we take 3 points from 9. Everyone catches us up and goes past us. And we never, you know, that sort of form continues. We do okay, but not as bad as last year. And we finish 3rd. Nowhere near the title. City run away with it. Liverpool come 2nd. We're not in the fights, but we come 3rd. It's improvement from 6th, but I know if the United stand's still running then, and you're all still there in the live comments, I know throughout the season we'll be going. Mourinho wanted that 4th signing. He didn't get it. It's not his fault. It's the club. So it's a dangerous play by the club, but I think they just play on the fact that they probably look at, like I said, Arsenal, and to a certain extent ourselves. Look, you can't... It's very difficult for people to say fans need to protest, fans need to down tools, fans need to stop going to games, fans need to stop buying shirts and stuff like that, because I go on Manchester United websites and I don't really buy the shirts anymore, but what I do is I love the retro stuff. It's still money into the club that goes to the owners as profits and stuff like that. And I can't turn a switch and not be a Manchester United fan. I can't turn a switch and just say I'm not paying Sky Sports anymore, because what does my one subscription actually do? Nothing. And I still want to watch my club and you know, so they've got us by the balls really. So even if we do all moan about it and we don't win the title because they didn't buy the 4th signing, they're still making a load of money. I say that, I know that's a very depressive thought, but I don't really know what the answer is, and it's not an answer we need for now. But it's one that now and again, in the whole time that the Glazers have been in charge, but it's not really them. It's every football club as well. It's the mugging off of football fans generically, and it's very difficult because there's not really any other genre, I suppose, certainly sport in the world that grabs you like football support does. You can't turn your back on it. I've been walking around today actually because I'm at Centre Box, and there's a lot of people with Arsenal shirts on, and I felt like, I don't know whether to laugh at them or give them a little hug, you know, but they're walking around with this season's shirt on, and you think, you know, as I said at the start, you know, where's your £200 million war chest? You're actually going to lose 2 or 3 of your best players, you know. But they'll turn out in the droves. Nigel Jones has made a contribution. He says, would you be happy with Galacticos? You bashed City and Madrid for it, so I can't see how we haven't spent a ton of money to build a squad already. Would I be happy with Galacticos? Look, Manchester United are different to Real Madrid because we don't boo our players, and we don't get bored of a player after 1 year and replace it with a new toy. We're very different to Manchester City because Manchester City don't generate their own income. It comes from a rich owner, much like Chelsea. Manchester United could outbid everybody like we did last year with Pogba every single season if we wanted to, because we are self-funded by the fans. So I don't mind. Look, there's a balance. You've got to strike that balance. We were talking about it last season with Mourinho. Did he use the youth enough? I don't think he did. So you've always got to balance it, but you've also got to back your manager. And Mourinho wasn't asking for 8 Galacticos this summer. He was realistic. He was efficient. He asked for 4 signings. I believe we needed 6. 4 signings he asked for. He didn't get 3. He didn't get 4. He got 3. So I don't think we're anywhere near being some sort of Galactico club. Jose's confirmed that Lindelof will start against Basel. Well, that's because Jones and Bailly can't. What do you think of Renato Sanchez to Swansea? Would you like him at Man U? Says Use. I did answer that at the start. Fortune says Perisic is staying at Inter Milan. Yeah, we won't get that deal done in 24 hours. No way. And to be honest, it's sad about Perisic. I really wanted to sign him because he would have proved those doubters wrong. But at 28, we're not going to sign him at 29. So that ship will have sailed with Perisic now. I don't think we'll ever see him in a Manchester United shirt, which is a shame because I think he would have proved a lot of people wrong, as I said. But it's not to be. It's not to be. A few people saying, what do you think is going to happen with the transfer window tomorrow? I'll tell you what I think is going to happen tomorrow with the transfer window. I think Manchester United, you know, I hate to say this because I've always felt that we would sign somebody. I think we're going to see Aurier confirmed to Spurs, if he hasn't been already. A player I thought would have been very good for hers. I'm not convinced Lamar will go anywhere from Monaco, but if he does, I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar went to Chelsea. Another player I think some of us would have liked at Manchester United. I mean, just quickly on that, I said it last night. Liverpool have strengthened their wingers and Chelsea are trying to strengthen their wingers, and they've already got much better wingers than we've got. So they're strengthening an area that they're better than us already. Makes me feel a bit sick, to be honest. Draxler, I think, will stay at PSG. Morez, I think, will stay at Leicester. Alexis Sanchez, that's probably the most interesting one of the day. I think he will go to City. But I've been saying that all summer. Who else? Ross Barkley, I think, will go to Chelsea. And Manchester United, I don't think we'll do any. I don't think we're going to do any business, folks. I'm afraid. I mean, somebody mentioned it there, and I've been a big fan of his for a couple of years now. I think 3 years. I'd be very happy with Felipe Anderson from Lazio, but we're absolutely not linked to him. 2-footed, can play on either wing, quick, skillful. You know, he's good at crossing. I'd take him. He might flop, but I'd take a flop over anybody at the moment because I just want a winger. I think it's so important. MN Conde says, Mark, how good of a signing would Willian be? You know what? I did hear something about that today, about Willian, that United want him. And I think we wanted Willian from the minute that Mourinho came to United, so over a year ago. And Willian has spoken about Manchester United, and he loves Mourinho, like many of Mourinho's ex-players do. But Chelsea just won't do the deal. And would you do the deal? I mean, he started the season fantastically, probably their best player. He's Premier League proven. He's got a lovely cross on him. He can play left and he can play right. He's a set piece taker. He's hard working. He would have been perfect for United. But you know what? Sometimes in life there are players out there that you'd love and you can't get them. And we can't get him. We can't get him, unfortunately. But he would be absolutely brilliant. Syed says, how much do you not want City to get Alexis Sanchez? I don't want it. I tell you what. If we're not getting anybody, the best we can hope for tomorrow is that Alexis Sanchez stays at Arsenal, because at Arsenal he's no threat. At City, he could be the difference between us winning the title and them winning the title. It could be, because they've got so many attacking options as it is. You add a player like that in, who is world class and Premier League proven as well, and it's very, very difficult when, you know, I don't know whether we can beat City at the moment. I'd like to see. I'd like to see. I think we can. But if you add Alexis Sanchez into that City team, they improve. We stay the same at best. I would have really liked if we'd got Keita Baldi, Diao, says Tolo Joseph. Yes, just signed for Monaco, hasn't he? Cindy Jordan, do you think the owners love the club, or is it all about business? Look, I speak enough. I think I've made it clear. What do you think? Do you think the Glazers love Manchester United, or do you think it's all about business? Put your comments below. How about a Memphis Depay buyback? Nope, thank you. Binu, don't want him. If we bought Griezmann, which of the three we would have not bought? This is Paul Robinson. It's an interesting concept. We'll never know the answer, Paul. If we'd signed Griezmann, would we still have bought the other players? That's a scary thought, because we still need Lukaku, we still need Matic, and Lindelof was 30 million anyway, so I don't think that would have been... The interesting thing is, if we got Griezmann, would we have got Lukaku? I hope to God we still would have done, but I just don't know. Maybe Mourinho was only given 150 million. Scott Kidd says, be careful, Mark. I don't know. What have I got to be careful about? Do you reckon Di Maria could have had a place in our squad this season if we didn't sell him, said Jacob? If he wasn't a snake yet. Counter-attack. Brandon Blake says, stop talking so soft. I've got a little baby upstairs. It's not my normal house. The noise carries, so I'm not my normal voice. I am probably about 80% actually. I'm not as loud as I normally am. Is there still talks with Robban, says Morg Plays? Not as I know. Should we have signed Ousmane Dembele, says Dennis? Of course we should, but he always wanted to go to Barcelona. Raheem Sterling to Arsenal and Sanchez to City. Thoughts, says Kayam Ali. I think that's brilliant for City, and it doesn't do anything for Arsenal. Agshaf Grover's made a contribution. Just had a look at our financial statements. We have a positive operating profit, and our debt is easily covered by our assets. Saves us so many taxes. Please, can you do a transfer review the day after the deadline ends and give your thoughts with the live comments, said Jamie. Jamie, you've just described a show that we've already planned. I know tomorrow is going to be mad, and I will do videos for you tomorrow, 1:30 and 8:30, and potentially, if United are in for a deal, we'll do one at 11 as well. I don't anticipate that, so we'll cover it tomorrow, live time, 1:30 and 8:30. But on Friday at 8 o'clock, we're going to do a transfer review show of everybody's transfer window in Premier League rivals, and we'll know the window's shut, and we'll know what we're discussing. And also, I can't say too much, but that show's going to be very, very interesting for you. But live comments will be on as per usual. Fabinho says Tej Naik. Yeah, he's still where he is as well. He's another player. I think Fabinho will stay at Monaco. Rumour is he wanted to go to PSG with Mbappe. Maybe he still will. What's with the new background? I'm on holiday. That's what's with the new background. Back in normal surroundings on Friday. Look, don't worry about Liverpool and what they're doing. Liverpool won't win the league, and that's all you need to. You just need to start every season. I don't like Liverpool, can't stand them, but you just start every season and go, no matter what, they might finish above us, but they won't win the league. And once you get that in your head, you feel a lot better. They won't win the league. Liverpool will not win the league. Shazwat says, if Mahrez came, would you give him the number 7 shirt? No, I wouldn't. I don't think he's going to come anyway. Roma Dude, Mark, I think with that regard to the owners, it is mostly business rather than love. I would agree with that. Jamie Johnson, any confirmation on Pereira going out on loan? Apparently, he isn't going to go on loan, which is fantastic news. I'm a big Pereira fan. I want him at the club. And if he was going to go on loan, it had to be a Premier League club for me. Right. I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it there because part of me hopes that we might be live at 11 o'clock because there's some big thing that United are going to sign somebody. And I tell you what, if there is some big news at 11 o'clock and it turns out to be nonsense, then that paper should be shut down because we've had a tough window as United fans and we don't want any fake news coming in on the last day. But I will be back at 1:30 tomorrow. I will be back at 8:30 tomorrow. And it's the last day of the transfer window. And to be honest, thanks everyone for who's been watching tonight. Please do drop a like on the video. But also, I'll say it now because tomorrow is potentially going to be quite hectic. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed the summer the United Stand has given you. Especially the 7 AM shows. We've been doing it since May the 1st, all the way through till, except for this week because I'm on holiday, I haven't done it. So 4 months of transfer stuff. Look, no one loves transfer stories more than the United Stand. I'm passionate about it. I love it. And but I'm tired of it now. I'm tired of it now. And I think everybody else is tired about it. And that's why today's Twitter is particularly vile. But you lot provide the sanity to this channel. You're the ones that, you know, on a personal note, I'm very grateful for throughout the summer, throughout the last 3 years. Even if you've been with us for 3 days, you do provide the sanity. And, you know, it's very hard to do this and not go into a bubble of social media. But the reality of the live comments really, really does help. So thanks everybody from my end. Thanks for Drawty for doing all the graphics over the summer as per usual. And Andy Pandy says, is anyone signing tomorrow? And if so, who? That's the question. You know what? If I had the Glazers number, I'd give it out. And you can all engage them and ask them why we're not signing anyone tomorrow. Because they're the only ones who really know. Mourinho wanted it. And yeah, we'll see what's happening. Yeah, back tomorrow. Unless something happens later on tonight. Speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching tonight. Really enjoying these shows. And Roy Martin says, I'll definitely see you later because we're going to sign somebody. I'm going to get really, really cross. I'm going to hold this back. Let me hold this back because I can't go yet. Something I need to do. It's so frustrating when somebody says you've missed the super chat and you know damn well you haven't. Don't put comments in the live comments about missing super chats because I haven't missed any, and you've lost my flow at the end of the show now. Thanks everyone for watching. Really, really enjoyed it. You make these shows. Look, I'm sat in a room on holiday with a swan as a background. Couldn't get more raw than this. I don't like the raw backgrounds. I like it to have a bit of class to it. But the raw, what provides the class to this show is not what's sat here. It's what's going down on that side from you lot. You're the ones that make it feel like it's not just me sat in an empty room. So thanks everyone. Really enjoyed it. Back tomorrow at 1:30. Hang in there. Let's hope there is a signing coming. I'll speak to you all soon.